All right, welcome. Get a comfy spot in your chair. Find a chair. Find a chair. I need to buy a new chair because this chair, I hate it. Anyway, so, or find a new chair. It tries to dump me out. It's the balance is, I mean, it's a beautiful chair. It's a beautiful wooden chair, but it tries to like eject me every once in a while. Like, I don't know. Normally you come to the edge of the chair and you can sit there comfortably, but this one here tries to lose me. So anyway, so we're coming to our mountain pose in the chair. So feet are flat on the floor. I'm just gonna back up a little bit. Feet are flat on the floor, and if you can get your thighs parallel with the floor. So that might mean, depending on the height of your chair, that you stick something under your feet. Blocks are really nice. And this might help you to feel a little bit more grounded, a little bit more, also, it might make you feel like it's easier to sit upright. So find your seat bones. And if you can get them to kind of generally point down, tucking the belly in slightly, kind of taking the arch out of the low back if you're prone to some lordosis here, kind of overarching the low back, which is guilty. The belly draws in, your spine is tall, the shoulders are gently on, or the shoulder blades are gently on your back. You can close your eyes or take a soft gaze. I have a hen on my steps here that has a lot to say to me. I just switched their coops, so I think she's protesting the coop switch. We were talking about, before we started class, kind of change in this collective kind of feeling at this time of year about the changes that are going on. So Laura said that, it's like you get this feeling of like, what am I going to do with my life? More so than you do in January necessarily. And I think, yeah, we have some pretty strong like seasonal changes. It goes from being hot, hot, hot to all of a sudden, like, where did the heat go? People are going back to school, back to work, and your owner changes coops on you and your life is in turmoil, whatever it may be. And then we just try to find some stillness or some quiet, some stability in the middle of all this change. This change is inevitable, right? We're always changing, sometimes for the good, sometimes for the bad, sometimes kind of like a lateral move, not necessarily good or bad, just kind of sideways maybe. And I kind of feel like the people that do the best are the people that can embrace that change more freely, easily. So as we sit here, maybe we start to notice the changes in our body, in the way we feel. There might have been some excitement, some blustery kind of blowing you into the room to do your chair yoga, some excitement, some coffee, rushing to get here, those kinds of things are like, oh my God, I've had 2 weeks off. What's that number for Zoom again? So notice that excitement or whatever that you brought to the beginning of class, and then notice as it starts to shift. So it might not be shifted now or start to shift yet, but keep your eye open for that stuff, your inner eye. We'll place one hand on the chest, kind of just below the collarbones, and maybe one on the belly, totally optional. We're just going to check in and notice our breath. Now, this can change greatly as well. I tend to hold my breath, and then as I practice, it gets easier to elongate the breath, take bigger breaths, but in the beginning, they're shallow. So, notice those kinds of things. Maybe you're a rock star with the breathing and, you have nice long breaths all the time. So in the midst of everything, not the mist. Anyway, in it while during all these changes, what you have with you all the time is your breath. The ability to check in with the breath, the ability to press pause, take a time out. And it's hard. It's hard to take even just a minute out sometimes, or it feels impossible. Now you can keep your hands on your belly and your chest if you want, or you can rest them in your lap or along your sides. But we're going to start to make some movements, and start by exhaling and bringing the chin towards the chest. So we'll lengthen the back of the neck and keeping it long as we inhale and bring the chin up. So we're not crunching the back of the neck, or it's very tempting to do so. Like, look how far I can pick my chin up. We're trying to be gentle. Exhaling again, chin to chest. Good. Moving through the breath, raising and lowering the chin, respecting the back of the neck. And we'll make an effort through this practice to kind of respect the body, celebrate what the body can do, not get hung up on what it can't do, or what it struggles with or finds as a challenge. Especially returning to an activity. So if you take 2 weeks off and everything gets kind of stiff, then you get back into it, and things aren't maybe what you remember them to be. Now on your next exhale, we're going to round the whole spine. So we're bringing our spine towards the back of the chair. If you have your hand on your chest and your belly, you might notice these two hands getting closer together as you round. Inhaling, you come back up through a neutral spine and then start to arch the back. Hands get farther apart, and then exhaling and rounding. Taking just a few more like this. I've got one angry hen out here. She's like, why can't I get into my old coop? Something is wrong. Woman, get out here and fix this. You know, and what I would say to her is, you know what? Getting angry won't fix anything. Getting angry won't change the changes, just makes it worse. Good, and then we'll sit back up in our tall spine. And we'll come back to our mountain pose. So placing your hands into your thigh, you're gonna press down into your thigh, and notice the toning of the core, the abdomen here, as we press our hands into our thighs. The shoulder blades are resting on the back. Super. All right, we'll interlace the fingers, and we're going to flip the palms so they're facing out. So what you're looking at is the backs of your fingers, or the tops of your hands. And we'll inhale and start to bring the arms up. So don't worry about it getting super high. If your shoulders are tight, maybe bend the elbows. You can go up a little higher perhaps. And then bringing them back down in front and to round. So we'll move through a little bit more cat and cow here, seated, but with some shoulder engagement movement. We'll release the fingers. You can shake out the hands. We're going to raise the left arm up overhead. We'll reach the right arm up overhead, and we're going to grab our left wrist with our right hand. Here we will lift, so as if you're taking your right hand and pulling your left arm up higher, and we'll take a side bend to the right. So your right hand is pulling you up and over to the right. So we're still kind of staying pretty tall through the spine. We're not collapsing because that hurts. Don't do that. Come up through the center. We'll now reach our left hand to our right wrist, lift up on the right wrist, and then side bend over here to the left. Now your elbows can be bent quite wide if you need to, especially if your shoulders are tight, so that might be more comfortable, but you're still having the sensation of lifting and side bending. Cool, come back to center, release, shake it out, take some shoulder rolls to the back. All right, so we'll move into our little flow that we do every class. We'll take your hand out to the side. I start on the left, you start on any side you want, and we'll take some wrist rolls as we inhale and start to bring the arm up and overhead. So you move with your body and what your body says is cool for today, and you wrist roll right back down. And then we'll switch sides, take some wrist rolls as you come back up, and then wrist roll right back down. We'll bring both arms out to the side, sweep both arms up. Maybe they touch, maybe they don't. Eventually, maybe they touch as you bring your hands to the heart center. Sometimes it's hard for them to touch overhead, so do what you can. Don't worry about it if they don't. Okay, back to our wrist rolls. Wrist roll, come on up. Maybe take a side bend at the top, and then wrist roll right back down. Switching sides, wrist roll. And wrist roll back down. Inhale, both arms wide and high. Push the ceiling away, get even taller through the spine as you exhale and fold. So keep the tall or long spine the whole way down. Inhale to a halfway lift or flat back. Exhale again and fold. Sweep the arms out in front, come all the way back up. Maybe your palms touch, maybe they don't. Exhale, bring the hands to the heart. Good. Pause for a ponytail. You know, I always want my hair to be down, like, oh, it looks so cute. And then it drives me bananas and I have to put it up anyway. And then it looks less cute. So what the hell, I should just do it. Anyway, back to the wrist roll, thank you. You know, spend all this time with dealing with hair. Kind of seems like a waste of time. And see why people just like cut it all off. Sweep both arms up. Get really, really long through the spine. Push the ceiling away and exhale and fold. Inhale to a halfway lift or flat back. Exhale again and fold. Sweep both arms up in front, all the way up tall, and we're going to exhale and twist to the right. Ooh, that feels good. Inhale back to center. Exhale, twist to the left. Inhale back to center. Maybe the palms touch, maybe they don't. Bring them back to the heart on the exhale. Get back to the wrist rolls. Think about how do you do wrist rolly stuff throughout your day? Like just anyway? Nope, I don't. So this is kind of why I do so many wrist rolls in class, because we really need that flexibility. And you know, if you're kind of like a slacker like I am sometimes, you know, you omit the stuff that you need because you just forget about it, you know? Unless it's on my to-do list, it doesn't get done so often, and wrist rolls aren't exactly on my to-do list. Push the ceiling away and exhale and fold. Inhale to a halfway lift, flat back. Exhale again and fold. Sweep both arms up, all the way up. And we're going to exhale and twist to the right. Tone your belly a little bit as you exhale. Inhale back to center. Exhale, twist to the left. Inhale back to center. And now exhaling, we're going to draw the right knee in towards the chest and give it a great big hug. So if you have a strap, this is also kind of a handy place to use a strap so that your back can stay tall, kind of hugging the knee in. This actually helps so you're not rounded. You turn to the side. So you're not kind of like this. You want to be up, chest lifted, knee up. If you can do that without a strap, cool, groovy. We're doing good. So then we're going to inhale, extend the right leg and lower it back down. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale, hug the left knee in. Give it a squeeze. Again, chest is lifted, knee is lifted. I didn't do ankle rolls. Oh, well, we'll get them next time. Inhale, extend. Exhale, lower. Bringing the hands to the heart. Okay. Wrist rolls. Our last time through. Yes. Usually by like the 5th or 6th time, my wrist stops sounding like those popper things that you put in packaging, you know, to keep your stuff safe. Bubble wrap. Why I can't think of that name. Anyway, sweep both arms up. Push the ceiling away, really tall, and exhale. Inhale to a halfway lift or flat back. Exhale again and fold. Sweep both arms out, come all the way up. Toning the belly on the exhale, twist to the right. Inhale back to center. Exhale, twist to the left. Inhale, center. We're going to exhale, bring that right knee up, give it a squeeze. Do our wrist rolls. Ooh, there's some bubble wrap in that ankle too. Snap, crackle, pop. Switch directions. We're going to inhale, sweep the arms up. Get really tall again through the spine. Exhaling, pulling the left knee in. Give it a squeeze. Ankle rolls on this side. My left ankle is far less chatty than my right for some reason today. And then switch directions. We're going to inhale the arms up and have a brain cramp because we're actually going to move to the right leg. So extend the right leg, put your hands in your lap, standing around here, sitting around with your arms in the air. Come on. Okay, so our right leg is straight. Our right foot is flexed. The toes are pointed back to you. You can stay totally upright, or you can start to hinge forward. Now, you can take a micro bend in that right knee. So your leg is straight, but you have like a tiny little bend so that your knee is not locked out. I'm so excited about my ankle rolls. I forgot about this one here. My word. And now we'll inhale, bring that right heel back, bring the left one out, and bring the hands to the right thigh. Left leg, toes are flexed. Knee is a micro bend. And then we'll inhale the arms up, bring that left heel back, and bring the hands to the heart on the exhale. What a silly little thing. Anyway, all right. So we're gonna sit up tall here and we're gonna bring our left elbow to the outside of the right knee. So sit up tall, and then on the exhale, we're going to kind of lean forward slightly and twist. Only go as far as comfortable and then come back up. So we're just going to move with the breath. Exhale, start to twist and come back up. Now, if they don't touch, that's okay. We're going to do it a few times. Maybe you'll start to twist a little further. Maybe you won't. If you have Ujjayi breath in your practice, now is kind of a good move to do with that. Well, I think all of yoga is pretty good to do with that breath. And now moving over to twist to the right here, we're going to hold for a few breaths. You're pressing your hands together. Maybe you can start to even roll that right shoulder even more open. And then we'll come back to center, twisting to the left. So your elbow can press into your leg perhaps to help you twist a little bit deeper. Hands, palms pressing in together, rolling that left shoulder open. Inhaling, we untwist and come back up to center. All right, back into our mountain pose. Hands are on our lap. You can close your eyes, check in. Again, notice if you've had any shifts or changes. Maybe you can even think of something that you're grateful for. I think it's really easy to be negative right now. Super easy to be negative. So finding something to be grateful for and kind of calling that into your mind periodically is, or even having an attitude of gratitude, you know, that's really going to help kind of break through some of this negativity. So we're going to turn, and so our knees are pointed to the right. And we're going to bring the left leg back. So you have the option as well to try this without being in the chair. So you would come off the chair, right knee is bent, left leg is straight. If you want a little extra heat, you know, but you don't have to. So I'm going to do it from the chair. If you want to do it standing up, do it standing up. Just be careful of balance. So we're going to, the left leg is back, right knee is bent. We're going to inhale, bring the arms up. So we're going to tuck the belly in so we're not overarching the lower back. We're supporting the lower back with the ab muscles here. Taking a few breaths here. So we'll inhale, lengthen through the spine, a little dynamic movement here, exhaling and twisting to the right. Inhale back to center. Exhale, twist to the right. Inhale back to center. Exhale, twist to the right. Inhale back to center. Exhaling, placing the hands on the thigh. If you're up, you can lower back down to the chair, and we will bring the left leg up to meet the right. So we're still facing the right side of our chair. And we will open the left leg out to the left. So we're making a right angle here, kind of a 90-degree here. So we'll bring the arms up. So we're facing directly in front, right directly between our legs here. And we're going to bring the right elbow to the right knee, lengthening through the left side of the body. Inhale back to center. Left elbow, left knee. Right arm extends overhead. Inhale back to center. Right elbow, right knee. Left arm extends. Back to center. Left elbow, left knee. Right arm extends. We'll come back to center. So we're in a goddess position here, elbows wide. We're going to walk our legs over to the left side of our chair here. We place our hands in our lap. We'll bring the right leg back. So again, you can do this standing. And we'll inhale, bring the arms up. So this is a crescent lunge type of position. Even if you're in the chair, same thing. Belly is toned to support the low back. We'll take a few breaths here. So we'll inhale, lengthen. Exhale, twist to the left. Inhale back to center. Exhale, twist to the left. Inhale back to center. Exhale, twist to the left. And then inhale back to center, and we will bring the right leg up to meet the left. Again, bring the right leg out slightly for 90 degrees. Both knees are bent. Pelvis is kind of neutral here. Arms are out into a goddess position. Goddess arms or cactus arms. We're going to inhale here. Exhale, right elbow to right knee. Left arm extends. Inhale back to center. Left elbow, left knee, right arm extends. Back to center. Right elbow, right knee, left arm extends. Inhale back to center. Exhale, left elbow, left knee, right arm extends. And then back to center. So we're going to place our hands on our lap. We'll move our legs back to our normal kind of facing in the chair. We're going to bring both knees wide again. Bring our hands to our heart, and we will forward fold gently here. So only go as far as your hips will allow. Try to keep your knees and toes pointed in the same direction and start to hinge forward slightly. So maybe you feel a little pressure, and then we'll inhale back off. And we'll do a couple more of those, exhaling and folding. Keeping the back straight as you can, or in its natural curves, but as long as you can keep your back. So we're not just rounding here, no wet noodles. And then 2 more breaths here. And last one. And back to center. We'll bring the knees and feet back together. And we'll walk our seat bones as far to the edge of the chair as you can. We're going to place our arms out in front. Now you can do them out in front. You can bring them to the heart, wherever you want. If your arms are out in front, it kind of helps a little bit with balance. Keeping the back straight, we're going to bring the shoulder blades back towards the chair. So I'm leaning back. So I can actually touch my shoulder blades to the chair, and then coming slowly back up. So our lower back is still going to keep that natural arch. We're not like rounding through that area. We're not flattening that area out, and we're not overarching. Ooh, almost threw myself out of the chair there. So keeping the back in its natural curves. We're going to exhale and bring our shoulder blades back to the back of the chair and come back up. So let's do like 3 more of those. And last one. And come back up. So you shake your arms out, make sure they got heavy. And we can try this again. And you can try this with maybe being up onto the balls of the feet. You can extend one leg. So if you're extending one leg, we'll do 6. We'll do 3 on each side. If you want to stay up on the balls of the feet, you can do that. If you're, super into it and you want to do a boat pose with like picking the feet up, if your chair isn't trying to kill you, you can do that. So pick whatever variation that you want. I'm going to do one leg up. So we have one leg in the air, and we exhale and bring our shoulders towards the chair and back up. So 2 more on this side. And back up. And last one. And back up. We'll lower that leg down, take a little break here between sides, and we'll do the other leg. So sitting up tall, start to lean back, shoulder blades touch the chair perhaps, and then come back up. And last one. And then lower that leg down. And we'll shake out the arms, take some shoulder rolls. Good. Good. So we're going to come up to a standing position if you want to. Don't have to. You can kind of lean forward and start to come up. If you don't want to come all the way up, you don't have to. You could just practice this, or even just folding forward, not going through the whole thing of standing, but just starting to. So depending where you are. Obviously, if you're in a wheelchair or something like that, you don't want to like throw yourself on the ground, because we are celebrating our bodies and accepting limitations as just a temporary thing. And then we maybe come all the way up to stand if you can, if you want to. And we will move the chair to one side. So we're gonna just go right into a balance position here. Balance practice. Excuse me. This can be done seated as well. Shift your weight to the right foot. The left knee can point out to the left, along with the left toes. The left side is pointed out to the left. Right is pointed directly ahead. Our hips are still pointed in the same direction as our right leg. So you can be here, you can get your foot closer, you can bring it up, you can bring it all the way up to your inner thigh. Just try not to place your left foot on your right knee. Take any kind of mudra or balance posture, anything for balance. So if your arms are out to a T, you can do that, whatever you desire. And we're pressing down in that right foot, kind of grounding ourselves, maybe growing roots through the floor. not clenching with the toes. That's kind of one of my favorite things to do. I think, I don't know, I don't think that helps, but I tried to do that. So we're not clenching with the toes, growing those roots, and we'll slowly lower down. March it out. If you need to move your chair, go ahead and do that. And we'll do the balance on the left-hand side. So the right knee is going to point out to the right. Maybe your heel comes in, comes up. Take whatever position that you want. You're pressing down through the left leg this time. Taking whatever arm variation that you'd like. And we're growing our roots here. So your drishti, your point of focus, could be an actual thing on the wall in front of you to help keep your balance, or it could be your focus could be on your roots. I like to think of things as like both literal and kind of magical or non-literal. So I think of roots being like actual like tree roots or plant roots, but then I think about my roots of like where I've come from and, you know, the people that support me. And then we will slowly lower down, march it out, and we will move to our chair pose. So you can be either seated in the chair. I always want to say seated. I'm not really sure why. So we want to be seated in the chair, or you can hover over the chair. You can take a goddess variation with the knees wide. Basically, we're going to do a squat. If you're sitting in the chair and you want to squeeze your glutes to kind of create some engagement, or pressing down in our mountain pose with our hands in our lap, you can do that as well. So find whatever variation that you want, and we'll do that. So I always want to, my legs just kind of naturally turn out. So I'm going to keep my legs together. I'm going to press my ankles, my feet, my knees, my thighs in together. And I'm going to sit my seat bones back. But I'm also going to keep support in my core here. So I'm not just, I'm not just this, because I can look at my feet and have my knees kind of bent, and I'm not really doing what I'm supposed to be doing. So here, I'm still rising up, kind of in a position of giving thanks, I would say. I don't know, makes me feel kind of like I'm giving praise, or I don't know, kind of like a rejoicing, I would say. So we'll take just a few breaths here. And again, if you want to call something into your mind that you are grateful for, that would be cool. Carol looks like she's having computer problems. So we'll take another breath here, big inhale. And then exhale, make sure your chair is there when you go and you sit back down. Super. So we're going to pick the heels up and we're going to drop them. So kind of pounding your heels into the floor, unless you're like the upstairs neighbor of somebody, then maybe you don't want to do that. I don't have anybody underneath my building other than perhaps some chickens. They can deal with it. Good. All right. So we'll move a little bit into the hips here. So if you have a block and your hips are tight, so the block, you can place the outside edge of your right foot on the block and let your right knee fall open. So you can do this. This is an option. Even crossing the ankles is an option and let your right knee fall to the right. Or if you're a little bit more flexible and this works for your hips today, maybe you place your right ankle over your left knee. So I'm pretty tight. I'm going to place my block on the highest setting because it's kind of in between my ankle and my knee. And I'm going to sit up tall. This is all my body wants right now. This is fine. Now, if you want to add a little bit more compression into that right hip, you might hinge forward. And now you can flex your right foot also to kind of keep everything in alignment. We don't want to have your right ankle kind of bowed out on the outside. We don't want to risk instability in the ankle. So keeping the foot flexed will help keep those tendons on the outside of the ankle from being overstretched. Taking just another breath here. And then we will put the right foot down and we'll do the same thing on the left. So it might look exactly the same as what you did on the right side, might look different. You might be a little bit more flexible on this side or less flexible. So you find what works for you. I'm gonna do the same thing on both sides. So I'm sitting up tall, making sure that I'm stable in the chair so I don't, fall out onto the floor. That could potentially create another whole host of issues. It's hard finding like the right position. So you can sit up tall or hinge forward, whatever your body thinks is a good plan for today. So with all this change going on and going back to school and oh my God, there's just a million changes going on right now, especially, in the United States, or potential changes. So I think it's important to kind of slow down from time to time, maybe do some breathing, come back to your breath like we did earlier, or even go for like a walk. I'm outside all day, but I'm never fully present. I'm watching a kid ride a horse, or I'm cleaning a stall, or I'm, working with a horse, and I'm not with Amanda. I am somewhere else all the time. So if you can go and be with you, even for 5 minutes, I think that's a good kind of response to change. All right, coming out of that position, we're going to start to work on our hands. So I'm going to move a little closer because I don't like being so far back. We'll place our palm out in front and we can gently pull the fingertips back. Going through, taking a breath with each finger here, pull the thumb back gently. Try not to hyperventilate, so don't do it really fast. Each finger. And then shake out that hand. Do some shoulder rolls. I tend to get tight when I do the hand stuff. I don't know, maybe we'll figure out down the road that I'm doing something weird with my shoulder. So I'll pull the fingertips back on the other hand. And then we'll go to the thumb, taking a breath with each finger. We'll release, shake it out. Some shoulder rolls. And then we'll move on to our tapping. So we'll tap the pinky finger edge of the hand, tap those together. Come up here. My face is like all whited out from the sun. Not that I'm complaining because the sun is beautiful. I love it. And then tap the heels of the hands. And then the bottoms of the thumbs. I did last night a super accessible slow flow class, and it's posted on YouTube if you're interested. We did some vinyasa using the chair, kind of like what we do in class normally in this class. So you might enjoy that. And then we'll place the palm, punch into the palm, keeping the shoulders relaxed, because I think that's one where we tend to get a little like up in here. And then switch. Carol's chicken Lucy just came in. She's on the floor. She's scoping things out. And then the backs of the hands. Let's see. Oh, she's over right by my pink mat, or pink block. There she goes. Watch her poop on my yoga mat. Now switch. She found piece of an almond. Okay, and then we'll interlace the fingers and tap. And then hold and switch them all by one. Tap again. Now she's wiping her face. And then we'll tap. See? You tap, Lucy? No. So we're tapping the web between the thumb and the forefinger. There you go. Oh. And then switch. And then we're going to take our prana chi filled hands here, and we're going to place them on a body part or body parts that challenge us. So wherever that may be. Well, come on. Oh, there she goes. That's your chicken cameo for today. So we're sending love, attention, appreciation, whatever it may be, just maybe energy to that spot. And I think it really is like the squeaky wheel gets the grease kind of thing, where, you know, you send your awareness, your acknowledgement to the places that are challenging, and they kind of get better. And now you can stay here, or you can place another hand, not another hand, like you got three. What if you do? I still love you. It's fine. Um, Place one hand on your heart and one on your belly. And again, we're just coming back to breath, you know, this thing that hopefully we have with us all the time. If you're doing this and you don't have a breath, then call 911. While you still can. So this breath, this movement is life force. Without it, you know, we would have nothing. We would be done. We can thank ourselves for being here and practicing together this morning. I hope we all feel loved, grateful, and connected while we practice and afterwards. Hope we have the strength and courage to overcome any obstacles that are before us. Inevitably, there will be some. From my heart to your heart, peace and namaste. And thank you for joining me this morning.